Whelen Modified Series action, and tonight we will be racing at the Dodge Raceway Stadium racetrack, followed by Watkins Glen International. Two races, doubleheader for you on this Thursday night, a little Thursday night thunder, as I like to call it. As far as today's races will go, we will be starting at the back of the pack. No practice, no qualifying for each race. Now, we did race at Dodge Raceway once on last season's Modified Series, which ended up finally concluding during the middle of the week last week. In fact, actually last Thursday. We have not returned back to the Modified Series. I apologize for that. It was 2 Thursdays ago that we had clinched the championship. And then last week, we ended up running the first 4 races. The last time we did race, though, was a week ago on Thursday. So trying to get back into the rhythm of things, I think, in this first race. And we should be able to do so. Dodge Raceway, usually pretty good for me in any series we race here. We were really quick, obviously, last season and won this very race, this race track. So I expect us to go out and dominate this one. Probably going to get to the front of the field relatively soon, assuming that we stay out of trouble. That's the big thing with the Modified Series races, because there aren't any cautions. So if there is a wreck, you pretty much got to dodge everything possible. Sometimes we see parking lot incidences. Sometimes we don't see any incidences at all because it's caution-free the whole race, and everything gets kind of spread out. So we'll have to wait and see what this one will be. Watkins Glen's going to be an interesting one in race 2 because I have not raced there in the Modified Series. We did not go there last season, but on this custom schedule season we will, and we will also be starting at the back. That's 66 laps, so that's going to be a much longer race than this one. 150 in this one on this slightly shorter than a half-mile oval. Green flags in the air, and Bill Fuller trying to go for 4 and 5 wins in a row if he can get the sweep again here tonight. Appreciate you all waiting patiently there in the chat before the start of this stream. And again, thanks for tuning in. The contact already in front of us, and there were a couple cars that were 3 wide for a very brief moment. Definitely a bottom feeder racetrack. You do not want to be in those upper couple lanes. Fuller taking his time, knows it's a long race. Going to try to get through the entire field as cleanly as possible. Might be a little too patient. At the very back of the pack, Bentley Potts, thanks for tuning in. Not able to get that drive off the exit of the corner when I get side by side with somebody. They're giving me a lot of room, or at least enough. Granted, I'm down on the apron and kind of giving myself more room if necessary. 11.319 that last lap, and we already got a problem. Somebody ducking onto pit road. An early engine failure on lap 8, and that got us a few positions on the back straightaway. Past 2 cars plus the 1 car that pitted, so now up to 19th. They kind of checked up. I didn't even have a chance to check up, but luckily I was on the bottom lane already, and there was a hole to get through. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and every time we go to Dodge Raceway in these older EA games, but this is definitely my favorite fantasy track of all time. Always been a fan of short track racing. I'm a fan of football, and you got short track racing in a football stadium. Obviously, we got that in real life with the LA Coliseum the last few years for the Clash. But this was well before that, obviously, so this was my childhood. This is like a crown jewel of the Modified Series season. Even though, obviously, Modifieds don't actually race at a track like this, but they do race on a lot of flatter, shorter tracks, so it's way less crowded, only having 22 cars on this track versus 43 in the Busch or Cup Series. .2 seconds off the lead already. I'm not worried about the speed in the car. All right, I'm all clear. Now I can... Oh! I was going to say I can probably widen my corner out a little bit. Spoke a little early. The minute I tried to widen my corner off, somebody tried to stick their nose in. Cut him off just a bit. A little contact. A couple corners in a row. I almost ended up in the wall. Luckily got on the brakes in time, and now we're stuck on the outside of the racetrack, and we might fall all the way to the rear again. Nope, not quite. Close, back to 20th. This is way more of a struggle than I was thinking it was going to be coming in. Hope Bowman Gray Race Stadium can put on a good show. I hope so too. It is a lot more narrow than even like what this track would be. I feel like the passing is going to be even harder there than what it was in the Coliseum. Straightaways are a lot more narrow. And with the short track package we've had with the next gen car, it is scary to me that we might not see much. I mean, if we didn't see much passing with this car at North Wilkesboro, I can't imagine that there's going to be much passing with this car at Bowman Gray. It's either going to be a ton of cautions and or no passing. We might get both. It's not going to be your traditional, you know, racing at its purest form. I will say that much. Even short track racing at its purest form. Up to 15th. First time we've cracked the top 15 from the back of the field. Our points lead is 75. We're racing as Bill Fuller, which, as you see at the top of the screen, currently leads the standings 3 wide going down towards turn 1. That got really tight. That car in the middle lane kind of forced his way in there. Fuller was already underneath him. Just for the 126 car to cross him over in the next corner, and Fuller will follow at 126 to get that spot back. Lap 30. Still 5.2 seconds off the lead, so I'm not losing any time to the leaders, interval-wise. We're just slowly picking off positions. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. .039. We had that one lap in the open before catching these guys side by side in front of us now and put together a pretty solid lap. I definitely think I can get a sub 11-second lap time at some point. Sailed it off into the corner. A lot of contact. Got 3 wide. Wheel-to-wheel contact. I got hung up on the 126 once we got together. Gonna get him back. Gonna pass the 101 car for 11th and 3 and 4 as well. That car's still stuck on the outside. For that contact, we're now 5.5 seconds off the lead. It's going to be constant traffic this whole race. The only way it wasn't going to be constant traffic is if I started up at the front of the field. It's hard not to make contact at this racetrack. I said at the beginning I was going to try to make the least amount possible. Really try to race these guys straight up, and even I feel like I'm taking it easy and we're still at times getting hung up on one another. Here we go, 11.036. Up to 8th. I do feel like this car may be a little too free on corner entry. I feel like it turns so easily. Really not trying to go to the apron at all right now. 11 flat was a lot better. We'll bump and run up to 7th. 2 more cars directly in front of us. We'll have another gap again, although that is until we got crossed over. It's back to the same 3. Marley. I don't even know who this guy is. Usually don't see him up here having a solid start. Slow car up on the top of the racetrack. I don't know if Beasley's got damage or what happened there. Maybe he got booted out of the way, but that is for position on the 113 car. And as he continues to lose positions in that outside lane, Fuller is now up inside the top 5 for the first time to 5th place. 3.9 seconds off the lead, battling for 4th. Good run off the exit of turn 2. Has that flat entry, holds it down to the bottom. Great corner. Gonna have to do the same thing in 1 and 2 to try to clear here, and does. I believe Haley is the driver that has led for most of this race. Travis Haley. It's the most wide open space we've had the whole 60 laps, and it's probably going to be the most wide open we'll have for probably the next 90 to get to the finish. Best chance to really start to eat into that lead. Race leader dealing with lap traffic, 4th place car, excuse me, of Fuller in the 192 is not. 2.5 seconds back now. Still a handful of cars between where Fuller's at and where the leader is currently. Down to 2 seconds. Looking for a 3rd place pass on Alan Walker. Little slide job. Slight contact gonna cost him. Walker gets back by yet again. A lot of contact with Walker. Got through to 3rd. Car blowing up on the outside of the racetrack. It was a lapper. Out of the way for us, at least. Did a good job getting to the outside immediately. No stack up. Tell you what, though, if the leader has led every lap of this race, there's not going to be any chance we're going to be able to get a max points day if we win this race. I believe he has led every lap so far. We won't know for sure until we look at the race results, but I believe he has led the entire time. Ouch. First time we hit the wall. There's a lot more lap traffic upcoming. I'm not going to get a good grasp as to who the second place car is going to be out of all this. 190 got loose right on corner exit off turn 2 in front of us. A slip to the inside. Trying to make this pass. Been side by side for a couple laps now. I think we're clear. Actually, I might have been clear for a minute. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm keeping it pinched to the bottom just in case. Yeah, we definitely are clear. Now we got second place to our outside. Got to pick him behind this lap car in the 101, and up to second now is Fuller. Still 1.2 seconds off the lead. Next car in front of us is another lap down car. Ryan Berwick, thanks for tuning in tonight. Another car blowing an engine up on the outside of the track. That time there was a bit of a stack up, little contact into the back of that lap car that was in front of us. Fuller still within a second of the lead, though. I think that car that got pinched on the outside is the leader, one of the two. And it's definitely not the first one. Now he's stuck behind that lap car that was just in front of us. That guy was able to get his lap back. 191 car right in front of the 192. So you got both the Dodge cars side by side. Little contact getting down into turn 1. And off turn 2 on Abraham. One second off the lead again. Three cars right in front of the top two. Still 61 laps to go here at Dodge Raceway Stadium. Three wide was never going to work in that corner. It's our teammate, by the way, in this 172 car. And he's not giving us much room to try to make this pass on the inside. .997 or 977, I believe it was. But we did get down below that 11-second lap time finally after 94 laps. 11.013 that last lap as well. And how long will the 126 hold up the leader? Oh, not long at all, as there was another car on the outside that was blowing an engine again. I think it might have been the 101. And that is going to allow Fuller on the inside to get through to the lead. And then backs it up with his fastest lap of the race as he leads for the first time here in our doubleheader opener. 10.907. 2 fastest laps of the race. As he's out in the lead in clean traffic to try to run away with this thing. Got 4 drivers out of the race, it looks like, on the track map. So 18 cars are still in this thing. Wade, thanks for tuning in. Had a Walmart delivery. Hopefully that 101 car wasn't going to deliver it to you. Because it might be damaged goods now. I'm assuming that was him that blew up on the outside. It all happened really quickly. There were a couple cars that ran into the back of him, one of which was the initial race leader. And now the lead's out to 1.4 seconds. And I don't even know that that guy is in second place anymore either. I ran a 10.8 that last lap, by the way. Kyle Knapp, thanks for tuning in. Oh, I was looking at the chat, the wrong spot in the corner there. I nailed that wall off turn 2. Corners come up so quickly here. I'm trying to read the chat. I'm definitely going to have to work on the setup when we get into our second race, though. This car just feels way too free for me. So if it looks like I'm not hitting the apex very well, even now that I'm out by myself and in the lead, that would be why. That's the thing. No pit stops to try to fix the problem either. You just got to deal with it as soon as that green flag drops. And doing full races like this, it's tough to deal with sometimes. Couple of lap cars right in front of us. One of them is a teammate. 2.2 second lead. It was over 2.5 seconds. I lost a lot of time that last lap. Race is going by very quick, though. Obviously, 150 laps here, especially with no cautions. We knew this thing was going to fly by. This modifieds really rip around here. Mid-corner speeds are up at every track, pretty much. I'm interested to see what Watkins Glen's going to bring, because that's already a fast track. Am I going to be running quicker lap times with these cars? Like, I don't know what their top-end speed's going to look like. We have ran a road course at Old Spice Speedway, which really only has, like, one long straightaway. Somewhat similar to Watkins Glen, but because of the hairpins slow the cars down way more than some of the corners at the Glen, which are more 90-degree corners rather than hairpins. So I really don't know. Slap car really isn't giving us a lot of room to try to make this pass. And if he really starts to slow us down a ton, could allow for second place to get back into it. Still ran a 10.877 that last lap, so his lap times are okay. I would imagine the field is definitely lapped inside the top 10 when you consider there are only 18 cars left on the track. And here's the Walmart car, so he was not the one that DNF'd. I wonder if he was in the stack up then on the outside, because I thought I saw him. He's definitely multiple laps down. $30 to go. Maybe I don't have to pass another lap car the rest of the day. I probably do. It's down to 1.6 seconds. And the line of cars that is in front of us is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, lap by lap. So I really don't know that Fuller's going to be going anywhere, even if he gets by this 101 car. A couple of those guys are side by side, which I think is what's really starting to stack this line of cars up even more. Hoping they get through cleanly. One of those cars was pinched up on the outside and can't get back to the bottom. Just keeps getting freight trained. Now move to the inside of the 101, and we'll make the pass on him as it looks like he overdrives the entry to turn 3 in that outer lane. Teammate in the 175 on the outside now. Fuller looking to make the pass on him. Huge nose-to-tail line up there. All right, got through it. Not all of it, but the brunt of it. We still came away with about a 1.6 to 1.7 second lead on the outside. Now second place going to have to get through that line of cars as they start to catch the back of it. 20 laps left here at Dodge Raceway. Maybe not as dominating of a win for Fuller this go-around, but things are still going his way up to this point. When we start from the rear at Watkins Glen, it'll be interesting to see if the same will be said there also. More passes being made, and now the lead stretched back out to 1.8 seconds. Nate Beasley, who is definitely a lap down, is now the next car in front of the leader. A 10.840 that last lap. Again, fastest lap of the day. With just 16, now 15 to go. Two corners in a row, I just overdrove it. It's so hard to stay in a rhythm here. You mess one corner up, and I feel like it takes a couple laps to really get back into nailing the corners again. Lead stretched back out to 2 seconds. I believe Fuller's largest lead was about 2.5. Never really got any bigger than that. We catch the 172 car. Teammate giving us a lot of bottom here in the closing laps to make that pass, as he will go at least a second lap down. 2.8, now 2.9 second lead with 10 laps remaining. Well, Beasley, who looked off the pace when we initially lapped him, definitely has better pace now. I mean, we saw him pass the 172, pulled away from him. Still has enough pace to at least have Fuller right there in line behind him. Fuller looking to the inside of Nate Beasley, and once he got underneath him, Beasley's going to give him a bunch of room. Fuller makes the pass. 6 to go. What's a lap at Watkins Glen about? If you're talking seconds, I don't know. I mean, we have not raced the modifieds at Watkins Glen ever on the channel. So it'll be a first for everybody, including myself. I know for the Cup Series, in this game it's slower than what it is nowadays, but there's also excess pavement as like a runoff on the exit of the corner, so you can get back in the gas sooner than what you could in this age of NASCAR. There's a lot of grass and sand traps out there. So, I mean, you're looking at probably a minute 10 to a minute 12 seconds being a fast lap, I would imagine. Maybe sometimes you can get under a minute 10, but very few occasions. Nowadays, that's definitely normal to run very fast laps like that. All right, so we got the win. Only 28 minutes and 6 seconds total time in this race through 150 laps. And obviously, again, caution-free, as every race on the season is. 4 wins in a row. for Bill Fuller. And in this one, we're just going to do a little Polish victory lap. I'll check the point standings and update the top of the screen before we get into the Watkins Glen race. Take a look at the finishing results for race 1 first. 55 laps led. Travis Haley did lead the most laps of the race, which I figured he did, though he did not lead all of the laps other than the remaining 55 that Fuller led. Jamie Gonzalez, who finished third place today, also led 22 laps. Alan Walker didn't lead a lap, did get to second. Haley, when he fell out of the lead, ended up eventually finishing fourth behind Gonzalez in third. Marley ended up in fifth. Good top five for him. That might be his first of the season. I really don't even know who that is. Maybe a guy that runs part-time on the schedule for the modified series. Rodney Clay, our teammate, finishes sixth. Mark Dyer, seventh. We've seen him in the top 10 a bunch this year. Same for Nate Beasley at eighth. Lyle White, our other teammate, at ninth. And L. Fox rounds out the top 10 as well. Brett Matthews, 14th, was our final finishing teammate. For DNFs, as we saw them all, Jay D'Amato, Kay Clemens, Luke Trigger, and Jay Andrews. And as far as lead lap finishers go, it looks like 7 cars finished on the lead lap here at Dodge Raceway. 4.4 second margin of victory, 120.04 mile per hour average race speed. And we saw 3 lead changes. All right, on to the Glen. Like I said, I'll get the points up at the screen as well. Get those race statistics in also. Before I forget that I led 55 laps. I try to keep track of the season stats. Win number 4, the first 5 races, and the only non-race win, we only led 4 laps at Milwaukee, but finished second in the season opener. Clint Ferguson ended up winning that race. So 4 wins now for Fuller. Obviously, we'll extend the points lead. And it should be extended quite a bit because I don't even think Ferguson ended up finishing in the top 10. Let's see here. Yeah, 165-point lead. Ferguson falls from second in points to 6th. He didn't get any points. I don't think he raced. Because you can't lose that many points in a single race. I think Ferguson missed the race. So he was only 75 points out of first in second, and now he's 260 back at 6th. So by missing a race, he falls 4 positions back. Jamie Gonzalez, who finished third tonight, is now 165 back in third. And coming into this one, I already erased it, so I don't know where he was coming in. You have to go back in the stream a little bit on your own merit. I didn't realize I took it off the top of the screen already. Haley is now up to third in points. Well, that's going to make trying to win this championship as soon as possible a lot more feasible. I say that now and then watch us crash out at Watkins Glen like I did at Old Spice Speedway last season. Could happen. Alrighty. That's all good to go now. And we'll get the second race underway in a matter of seconds. Oh, 60 laps, my bad. I thought it was 66. So 60 laps. 6 laps shorter than I at least expected coming in. Is there no heat in my house? No, there's definitely heat in my house. It's cold outside, man. I don't know what it is. I haven't checked the weather during the day. When I woke up this morning, the wind chill was -1. And then it warmed up throughout the afternoon. It honestly felt colder to me when I left work than what it was when I went in this morning. So let me check for you in real time. Let's see. "17 degrees and it feels like 5. Feel like temperature's 5, so it's slightly warmer than it was. I think it's just because the sun was going down. That's probably why it felt cooler than it did, at least on my lunch break. So it's almost as cold as it was this morning, but it was pretty close. 17 degrees feels like 5. That's why I've got the stocking hat on. I do wear hats all the time, obviously, on stream. During the wintertime, I'm wearing this probably more than I'm wearing a hat. Just depends on what I'm if I'm outside or not, I guess, during the day. I like to stay cozy, you know. I've got the big Michigan hockey sweatshirt jersey thing. It's like a hooded sweatshirt with the thickness of it. And I've also got a white Henley on underneath it too, so I'm definitely layered up. Overnight temperature is supposed to be 14. The feel like isn't supposed to drop below 5, according to AccuWeather. So it's pretty much as cold as it's gonna get. Mohawk? No, I don't have a mohawk. Not all drivers race every race in older EA games. Yeah, I know the fantasy drivers in the other series race part-time. I didn't think that that was the case for the modifieds also. Now, you would think that more drivers in the modifieds would race full-time because there's only 22 spots, but apparently that's not the case, so it makes winning your championship much easier. The only guys who would run full-time other than yourself would be your teammates then, because they're definitely running every race. But they're not as competitive as the teammates we had last season. Like last season, Beasley was second in points to us all year. And he's not our teammate, so Clay is the highest in the point standings of our teammates right now, and he's not even in the top 5. Almost forgot to unmute it. Let me unmute it. All right, I'm going to go way up on the downforce. Even if it slows me down the straightaways, we're going to need it. We need all the grip we can get. I'm not going to mess with the wedge. All right, starting from the rear, 60 laps at Watkins Glen. Caution free at that. This is going to be a longer race. It's already 7 o'clock. Green flag back in the air as we begin race 2. Double wide. Long race. I'm in zero rush to get to the front of the field. This car's already feeling free. Maybe I should have messed with the wedge. That's not good. That it feels as light through the S's as it does already. I believe Haley's out in front. They're leading the most laps in the last race. Field is backing way down into the bus stop. A lot of them still 2x2, probably why they didn't back off on the speed side of things, or they did back off on the speed side of things. If they didn't back off, everybody would have ran right into that guardrail head on. Would have been follow the leader into the wall, just like the Roval in 2018 on that late race restart. Fastest speed the modifieds running, I mean, it depends on the track. We get out in the open, I think we could put together some really quick laps here. Minute 15 on the first lap, but a lot of traffic and obviously getting up to speed at the line. First lap's definitely going to be the slowest of the race, unless I crash. 3 wide pass there in turn 1. Man, I don't know what happened. A lot of these cars at the back of the field just didn't want to go. Yep, that's a wreck. Ah, man. I hit the inside wall. How do I turn around? I was trying not to burn the tires off of it. All right, get me out in the open. We're fine. I think the car's okay. If I would have wrecked out this early in the race, I would not have limped it. I would have just simulated it. A lot of racing to go, though. But now my tires are probably going to be hurt for the final 59 laps. By the way, no pit stops at Watkins Glen in 60 laps is ridiculous. That's like 2 full Cup Series fuel runs. And we won't have to pit once. How does that make sense? Yeah, I clipped the guardrail getting into the corner. We were side by side. The car feels free again. It was free in the first race, but it also didn't mess with the setup from where I had it last season at Dodge Raceway. I mean, not running any practice laps. That's what's getting to me here. I knew the race was 60 laps. I didn't want to run practice, qualify, and run the race. It was already going to be a long stream. We just ran 150 laps at Dodge Raceway before this. And this thing is, I mean, it's wrecking in the S's. I can't get it to turn there. I didn't hit the wall that time before it spun either. Oh, man, it's so narrow. I can't I can't turn around in that area of the track. I'm like a half a lap down to the leader. This is not good. This is probably the worst race car I've had in the modified series. And I even went way up with the downforce trying to hope that this wasn't going to happen. With the right-handed turns, I mean, it's killing me. It felt like it wanted to spin out going through turn 5 right there, too. I don't think the modified cars are built to go right. I mean, the stock cars in general probably weren't built to go right at this time either, but these cars definitely weren't built to go right. There's a reason the modified series doesn't have road courses in real life. I'm 38 seconds off the lead. So free. I thought it was bad at Dodge Raceway. It was nowhere near bad compared to what it is now. This is worse. Worse than bad. You're going to see me all over the place in this area. I can't control this thing. I'd like to get one clean lap in just to see what it's like for speed. It's all over the place. Look at this. I'm going down the straightaway and I can't hold a straight line. I somehow was still quicker than the leaders. I wonder if they're going so slow because their handling isn't there either. Like, I wonder if this is just what it's like when you try to push. I can't not hit the wall in the S's. The first lap was the only lap I didn't hit the wall in the S's. And we were still getting up to speed at that point, so that almost really doesn't count. I wonder if it stays in fourth gear the whole time. Maybe the car will be better. It sounds ridiculous, but I'd be able to keep controlling the corners more. Honestly, the left-handed turns aren't bad. It's the right-handed turns. Problem is, at Watkins Glen, there's more right-handed turns than left-handed turns. Even with the damage to the car, we are quicker than the leaders. I clipped the wall again. I'll tell you what, making passes is going to be so difficult. I can get through the bus stop fine. I just can't get through the S's. Turn 5 is probably my second worst corner on the track, too. Closed down school. Yeah, there were quite a few schools closed, too, where I live. But I think some areas got a lot of snow, though, too. Snow and ice. So that might have factored into school closings around me, also. That was a good corner there through turn 1. Single-handedly, that might have been the best corner I've had on this racetrack so far. Don't hit the wall in the S's this time. Wow, I actually got through there. I think I just have to run the middle of the racetrack going through there. I don't think I can try to corner it off like you typically would. I think I just have to run right in the middle of the track so I keep it away from the wall. This is so free. Oh my gosh. When you think things are going right. That's a new area of the track to wreck. That was kind of before I got into turn 5. That was going to be my cleanest lap up until that little moment. Well, it was more than little. Bigger moment. Turn 5, right back to 38 seconds off the lead again. All 22 cars still in the race. I'm mastering turn 1, though. I think turn 1's probably my best corner on the racetrack. All right. I don't think a perfect lap exists with these cars at this racetrack. I don't think it's possible for me to push 100% and actually get a clean lap in here. Because even when I'm not pushing at certain times 100%, it's still out of shape. Like right there. I got to find that happy medium of where to be in the gas to kind of set the car. Because I feel like I can find it. Just through 8 laps, I haven't. Turn 7's not bad for me either. The opening and closing corners are probably my 2 best. We've got speed in the car. This track is definitely broken. But it's broken for the AI. It's broken in a wrecking way for me, not for them. Not yet, at least. Well, if I finish last, I finish last, honestly. I think the rest of the season, I should at least get good finishes. I don't want to have to bank on that, but it could be. I'm determined to try to get this thing to drive as good as it's going to get. It's going to be so hard for me even just to get in a rhythm. Like, I haven't ran one clean lap yet. Then I have to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Like, I don't know how I'm going to run consecutive clean laps. It's taken 10 laps, and I've hit the wall at least once every lap. There's been sometimes, like, I haven't hit it hard, but I've still hit it. Scrape is a scrape. It's still taking speed out. And even in those laps, I'm still faster than the leader. It's probably why until we got into the S's there, I was actually passing cars pretty easily at that. "30 seconds off the lead. 50 to go. 10 laps down. Lap number 11. Will this one be clean? Oh, I was standing on the gas all the way through the S's there. Wow, I actually got it to hold. Let's go. By far the best lap to this point. I didn't get loose at all there. Flying through the bus stop. Okay. Turn 5. Okay, I had to catch the car a little bit there. Oh, no, don't do that. No! It was going so good. It got loose and I overcorrected. Wow, that was the first time it snapped on me there. Even when I have a good lap going for myself, it messes up somewhere. And it's always somewhere new. Okay, good through turn 1. Try to get through the S's again. Dang it! This thing is durable. This is ugly. This is uglier than the Daytona race I had yesterday. It's different when you just had no speed in the car like we did at Daytona. This is just bad. The handling's not there, which is equating to no speed. If we can get the handling there, I think, again, the speed should be okay. still 30 seconds off the lead. Like, even when I'm pounding the wall down a couple times a lap, I'm running within a few tenths of a second of the leaders. Can't push the car on road courses and the modifieds. Well, at Old Spice Speedway, I can run clean laps there. I think I need to push through the S's. Because I feel like when I back up the corner a little bit more and try to ease my way through there, I feel like the car gets more loose. It doesn't set properly for me to not try to push it in there 100%. Because I barely lifted that one lap, and I actually got through there cleanly once. And then I messed it up in turn 5. This might take me the whole 60 laps to try to figure this out. We're so close that one time to getting a clean lap in. 13 laps. Will number 14 be clean? I was still quicker than the leader that last time. We're also going to have to definitely look out when somebody blows a motor here. Oh my goodness, man. These straightaways are so long and there's no runoff anywhere. My luck, I'll probably wreck right into them. Trying to miss them. We haven't had any DNFs to this point, but we usually have 3 to 4 every race, so look out. No. At this point, when I hit the walls, I'm just trying to hit it as flat as possible so I don't spin out again. I wish I knew exactly how damaged the car is. Props to the pit crew for making a durable car today. What is this? It's the most broken track. This is probably why it's not on the actual season on this game. It's probably why it only works as a custom schedule season that you can run the modifieds here, because it is broken. I've ran at this track on this game over my whole life. This might be the first time I've ever ran the modifieds here, to be completely honest. Because in the career mode, it definitely doesn't have this track in there, and obviously for the season mode, it didn't either. No. Okay. I actually caught it that time. Usually I don't. Usually I don't catch it. Chat, for those of you that have toughed this out with me, for one, I appreciate you all. For two, how many laps is it going to be before I actually get a clean lap in? We're on lap 16. Just put in the chat number of lap that I'm actually going to get a clean lap. I didn't hit anything there. So the rumble strip's up on that outside off the exit of turn 1 where there's runoff on one corner of the racetrack. That got me loose that time. Because actually turn 1 was my best up to this point. Oh my gosh. Bouncing off the wall again. Well, it's going to be at least 17 laps. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, we're almost a third of the way through a full race here in the modifieds. I'm so glad this track isn't broken like this in every series. Could you imagine that? I'd probably skip it if I would have known it was going to be this bad, honestly. It's literally not drivable. Now, there may be a setup I can use that could help it with enough practice laps. But at the same time, I can only add just a little bit more downforce. There really isn't much more I can add, but there is room to add more. Okay, clean turn 1. Now we got to get through the S's. I'm power sliding. I've never seen myself struggle on a track so badly before. I've raced broken tracks on like NASCAR 21 ignition and stuff. But every now and then I can... Oh, we've got our first parking lot. Oh, I didn't think that car was on the outside. I thought he was on the inside. I'm actually up to 14th through all that. All right, 14th place for Bill Fuller. Gained 8 positions on 1 lap. I don't know who that was that blew an engine, but thank you. Stacking the field up there, right in turn 5. I wonder if it's quicker if I just ride the wall all the way through the S's at this point. Is it possible to do that every lap, though, without breaking the car? That's the only thing. Because I've hit it every time. At some point, I'd like to think the car's going to break. Like, I've had this thing break on me already before on the channel. I really have zero clue how it isn't, other than the fact that maybe the track is just so broken that maybe even the walls don't even work properly like they should at this point. We definitely have a different leader from what we had at the initial start of the race, too. I can't tell if that's the 113 of Nate Beasley leading or not. That was our fastest lap. Still wasn't clean, but it was our fastest. 113.705. So it's about an 83.705 second lap time. Lap times are definitely slower here than they were in the Cup Series. Wow, that was a perfect assist. As if nothing was wrong. Come on, push. I want that perfect lap. Lap 19, we got through turn 1, we got through the S's. We got through the bus stop, turn 5 now. Oh, hang on, ladies and gentlemen. We may have just finally ran the perfect lap at Watkins Glen. I haven't had a problem in turn 7 at all yet. Yeah, let's go. I barely wiggled that lap. 112.473. That was almost a second quicker than the previous fastest lap. I finally ran a clean lap. Wow. It is possible. It took me 19 laps, and then we're right back to hitting the wall again. I could say I had one. It might be my only one, but we had at least one. And only one car's out of the race, so we're going to have at least 2 more DNFs, I'd assume, the rest of the race. At least 2, maybe 3. Maybe they stacked the field up enough that we're able to win. Maybe it's somebody... I'm hoping it's somebody that's already behind us. So maybe there's a chance I could get the leader hung up somewhere on the track. And they also have to blow an engine somewhere where they did, which was right in the middle of the race course, turn 5. It can't be close to pit road. So otherwise, that's not really going to bunch anybody up much if it's like in turn 7, turn 6. Outside of the S's that lap, the rest of it was clean after the fact. I'm definitely the worst in the S's than anywhere else on the track. It's the S's, then turn 5. And honestly, everywhere else I'm okay. I wrecked coming out of the bus stop once. That was it. Well, I was talking about how cold it is at my place here in Northwest Ohio today. Coldest day of the year so far. Well, this time of the year, I should say. There were probably some days in January, February last year that were colder than it was today. But this is like driving on ice. I mean, this track is pure ice with the modifieds on this game and no other series for some reason. We're progressively getting better. But I'm now 33 seconds off the lead. How did I fall behind even more than I'm confused now. Oh. Oh. My lap times were getting better. And we ran our fastest of the day, but somehow I think whoever's leading now definitely is quicker than every other car in the field, and it's probably going to be tough to beat them because we've lost more time. That was the first I really looked at the interval in a while, but it was 30 seconds. Now it's 36. What's going on now? Did it actually break the car? I lost 3 seconds that last lap. Curious to see what this next lap time is going to look like. Still 36. I ran a 112 that last lap. I think the top portion of the field just got quicker all of a sudden. Where'd that speed come from the leader? Okay, got through the S's cleanly. I want to put together a clean lap and see where we're at. So far, it's been really clean. Took me 19 laps to run a clean lap. 5 more after that, we have our second clean lap of the race. If I don't gain time on this lap, then all hope is definitely lost. Well, never mind. My first mistake in turn 7. And I lost a second. 2 seconds. Oh my gosh. I am quite a ways ahead of everybody else behind me, though. Let's hit the wall head on. Again. Practically head on. That was kind of weird how I steered out of it the way I did. It's like the right front tire got caught on the guardrail and just kind of spit it right back out into the track again. Without spinning me out completely. I mean, honestly, if the race ended right now, I'd be pleased. Just give me 14th. You know, at this point, the positions I have gained, my goal is to not lose any more positions the rest of this race. I might give up a lot of time, but I just don't want to lose any more positions. We're 41.4 seconds back. I might end up a lap down before the finish. We still have half the race left. I knew this was going to be a long race, 60 laps for the modified series here, but it feels even longer. The way this car has been wanting to wreck on me. I've already had over a half hour of this. We started this pretty much right at the top of the hour. I haven't tried just running the guardrail through the S's yet. I don't think it's going to work. And I'm scared to lose positions. Because we aren't in last anymore. And I know I said it, all hope is lost. Maybe the race leader blows the motor and holds everybody up behind him like we have with that pack. Maybe it happens. I don't know if they're going to hold him up for 41 seconds, though. That's the problem. One clean lap the whole race. The second one that looked like it was going to be clean, I messed up out of turn 7. I like how I'm getting through the S's better now at this point in the race, but somehow, some way, I'm getting worse in turn 7. Ooh! That was a hard hit. That might have been the hardest hit I've had so far. It even sounded more violent. .44.5-second lead. Lock the tires up going through turn 1. It's really the first time I've done that so far. Whoa! Hit those corners like an actual racetrack. I didn't see what it was off the lead that last time at the line. So please tell me I've gained some ground this lap. Just got to get through turn 7. Get through turn 7. Ah, dang it. It wasn't bad. But it still could have been better. That was probably my second best lap, though. I'll tell you what, you want to challenge, boys and girls. I challenge you this. Legend difficulty, Watkins Glen, modified series NASCAR 07. And then you tell me how easy it actually is. Because this track feels so impossible. .9 seconds off the lead. Maybe a different camera angle will help me. That wasn't it. I thought for a second the new camera angle was working, and then I got out of the bus stop and a little bit of a mistake allows for the leaders to pull away a little bit more again. Still haven't noticed our second DNF. We are officially halfway at the line. 30 laps down, 30 laps to go. I'm trying. At least we're getting some words of encouragement from the crew chief. Very appreciative of that. He's trying to keep my spirits high. He knows it's tough. He knows he did a shit job of trying to set this car up. This whole race, he's probably watching the monitors being like, man, I messed this up bad. He's probably fearing for his job right now. Well, power slide out of turn 5. Actually held on to it, though. It's still going to be a clean lap, I think. This might be our second clean lap of the race. One more corner. Let's go. What do we got this time? Fastest lap? Wow. We didn't even get down to the minute 12 that time. You know, I really didn't think that power slide in turn 5 was that bad. Ooh! Come on, get it back going, get it back going. Oh, I backed it all the way back into traffic. Well, now we're back in 21st again. I got loose right as that opening in the guardrail came about on the inside of the track in turn 5, and I couldn't have hit it any more perfect. It's always something. I'm surprised at myself that I haven't just quit, to be completely honest. I'm really not all that upset about this situation. I think a lot of people would have just not done this. You know what? You guys wanted me to run this race when we set up the custom schedule season. And I'm going to make damn sure we're going to finish it. I might not finish it on the lead lap. Honestly, it'd be a miracle at this point if I just finish on the lead lap, considering I'm over a minute off the lead. I'm a full minute off the race lead. I've wrecked, what, 4 or 5 times? I've spun completely around. And I think only one of those times I had contact, which was that first spin on lap 2. I said I was in no hurry, and I haven't really been in a hurry ever since. And still not able to make great laps.
Don't worry about it, man. Doing great.
Ha ha ha. I can't imagine what this thing would drive like if it actually was broken, like the car itself. Oh my gosh, I hit the opening again. That was in the S's that time. This thing is just... I'll tell you what. Oh my gosh. Is it actually broken now? Like, I can't tell. Because I've done that 3 times in the race, and it's been all in a lap. We're a lap down now. That's the leader out ahead of us. He's got a big lead. I think it's just completely broken now because I can't get it to turn in a corner anymore. Trying to keep it up against the fence. I just don't want to get hit. It took me a minute and a half to run that lap. You know, I didn't want to give up. We might have to give in now. I tried to ride the guardrail that time, and all it did was about spin me out. I tried something different. I really didn't want to give up. I still don't want to. I don't know that it's going to be worth a couple positions at the end of this race. And I'm scared to wreck anybody here at the front of the field because of my silliness of the race car. If he gets alongside of me on a straightaway, I'll definitely let him go. Heck, I might just even hit the pits one of these times just to let them all by me. Run by myself. I'm going to finish this thing out. How has nobody else hit me? Just get around me. Everybody get around me. I feel like this is what would happen if the game wasn't broken and we had just like a 3-year-old trying to do this by himself with no assists on. They're looking to the outside. Oh, they ran into me there. One of them did. It actually straightened me out. I'm going into the pits. Nope. I don't care. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I was hoping for a miracle that it'll just shoot me out. There's that one guy. That one guy that did not finish the race. I think we're going to give ourselves our first DNF of the year. I really don't want to suffer for 20 more laps. We've ran 2 clean laps the whole race. 2 laps I haven't hit the wall. That is how hard this is. This is the hardest thing I think I've ever tried to accomplish on a NASCAR video game. Is the modified series at Watkins Glen. We know the road courses aren't broken in this game because we just ran Sonoma 2 days ago. Well, granted, there were a lot of cautions, but I wasn't involved in it and I at least had drivability in my race car. I don't think any amount of laps of practice was ever going to fix this thing. I think it was going to be broken from the start. Because honestly, from the start, it doesn't even feel like I have downforce in it. We got to blow up. We got to blow up. I purposely hit the guardrail to miss everybody there. We got our second DNF, so let me hold on. I'm not going to DNF yet because we're at least going to get one more position in a lap. Maybe we'll get another DNF before that. I intentionally threw it to pit road too. Just to get out into some clean air. We'll get by this guy. We'll run one more lap. And then we'll end up 20th. Unless somebody else blows up that lap too, which could happen. I mean, we're going to have 2 more. That curb got me there. I'm sorry you all had to watch this. This is an embarrassment of a race. I'm not going to lie, I kind of want to break the car at this point just to give me a reason to DNF. We're up to 20th now. I don't notice anybody off the pace. I try to keep it against the guardrail just for that guy. I don't know why I ever thought that riding the guardrail was going to work in an open wheel car. I just thought that maybe this track was so broken that there was a chance that I could actually do that. I mean, this is wild, though. Like, I'm not trying to push 100%. At times I am, just because I'm trying something different. But even laps, I feel like I'm running 80 to 85%. I can't even run a clean lap. I gotta keep it in the grass. We got oncoming traffic. I don't want to ruin anybody else's race. Staying out in the grass, get those 2. Work our way back out there. We're gonna just... I think I'm just gonna try to kill this thing in turn 1. Somewhere. Pick a fast straightaway or something. Put this car where it belongs, 6 feet under. I think it's indestructible too. I think the game's so broken I can't even break the car. Because I should have had it should be broken by now. Like I legitimately have to have DNF'd. I've literally wrecked 5 or 6 times with no damage repair. I'm trying to break it now. Sandpit just slows me down. It's not breakable there. We got traffic. Get around me, everybody. Get around me. I gotta run right into this thing. DNF. We got the leader coming. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please. I gotta run this guy off the road too. Or it's broken now. I can feel it. My controller's vibrating like crazy. I think he got back to the lead. Thank goodness. He's back in the lead. Oh, somebody else is off. I don't know. Somebody, hang on. If somebody else just broke down too. Somebody went wide in turn 6. That's going to be another spot. I don't feel bad if that guy, if Haley wins this race still. I won't feel bad because he should have won anyway. I'm really trying to DNF. I'm trying to end this race. Right now. How does it not, like, I don't understand. I think the car is unbreakable. We have DNF before. And the fact that I'm trying and it's just not. All right, that's enough of that. Just enter the pits. I was purposely trying to wreck it the last like 3 or 4 laps. So if it got any uglier for some reason, it was because of me that time. But it was definitely ugly before that. I had enough. We ran 40 laps of that. What a disgrace. If I would have known it was going to be like that, I would definitely would have made that as one of the 50% races on the season. At least we would have gotten that far. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. We still do have 2 50% races left on the season. So we're just going to have Travis Haley as the winner there because he looked like he would have been the winner. We started the race, we got points. 115-point lead over Jamie Gonzalez. I was going to say, I mean, yeah, the DNF hurts our average finish, but the only reason I even finished ahead of anybody anyway in that race is because we had other cars at DNF. Man, I thought Daytona was bad last night. Nothing's going to ever get any uglier than that. That was ugly, ugly. Travis Haley only 123 points back. Alan Walker 125. So 4 drivers within 125 points now. We definitely did not need that DNF right at the halfway point in the season. 6 races down, 6 races to go. But obviously, if you watch that race from the very beginning, again, I'm surprised. As ugly as it was, you guys are the true fans for that reason. Not that anybody else isn't, but I'm surprised anybody was watching that thing. That was so bad. I wasn't even frustrated because I was just accepting it for what it was. Like, that was NASCAR 21 ignition levels of bad. I've never had that before. We've raced every track with this game now, with every car. I don't know that I've ever ran Watkins Glen with the modified series in my life, because I definitely don't remember that. If I would have known it was going to be like that, I would have said, no, we're not going to do that for the custom schedule season. I was curious to see what it's all about. It did not live up to the hype, let me tell you. I can promise you when we go there with the Cup Series, our car will have handling. I think it was just broken with this track on this game. Average finish is 4.3 now. Only the second race we haven't won this year, but again, DNF in 20th place, and we'll score Travis Haley with the win as he was leading, and probably would have led the most laps as well. So the right guy won the race at the end of it. I was trying to kill it for good because that car doesn't need to see the light of day anymore. All right, we'll be back with the Cup Series tomorrow after the premature ending here this evening. And our Cup Series race tomorrow will end up taking place at Chicagoland. 400 miles, 267 laps. Back to real racing on this game. And the modified series, I mean, the first race was a real race too. I still don't know what happened there. I'll try to get to the bottom of it. I don't think anything was wrong, like with the assists. I had this new controller for the Cup Series the last several days, and it was fine. And it was fine for the first modified race, so I know it's not the new controller. Yep. It's definitely on the game here this evening, but sometimes the game gets the best of us, and best thing we can do is we have 6 races left. It's all on tracks we've raced in this series before, so I know that we won't have a car anywhere near that bad the rest of the way. And I'm going to qualify for every race too as well going forward for the rest of the season, as I should have time to do so. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of your Thursday night, and I will see you back and better than ever again for tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern start time for that Cup Series race at Chicago.